I don't know how to do this alone. Hey guys, I'm Roxee. No, actually, I'm gonna do my intro in drag. Hi guys, I'm Roxee Horror, and you're watching Word Vomit. Thank you so much, Roxee, for helping me out. So today, I am going to show everybody at home who watches Word Vomit in this episode of Word Vomit Chunks how to do a Roxee face. Not that anybody really ever wants to see that. I'm going to put a disclaimer out there and I'm going to say I actually have no idea how to do makeup. I can paint a drag face, but I couldn't paint you pretty for your formal. Just keep that in mind, most of my steps are wrong. Okay, so the first step you need to do is shave and moisturize. I've already done that, so we are one step ahead. Next step is to remove my glasses and put in my contacts. Okay, one contact. Are you ready? Oh, flip back. Let's try again. One contact, are you ready? Oh, that's one that made me cry, but it's in. Oh. I can see out of both of my eyes. Stop it. So my eye contacts are in, which means it's hat off, wig cap on. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's on. Great, perfect, wonderful. I look like Michael Klim. Next step is to block your brows. I use the KRYOLAN Mastix Spirit Gum, but I like to take a good amount of that back and forth through your eyebrows. Push them forward like that, really rub it in. You just get a comb and you comb up brutally till they are sitting as flat as you can get them. Everybody blocks differently. You don't have to block this way. I am a sweaty Betty in drag, so I like to do this first because it helps with the glue if I get really hot during a performance. And do the other eyebrow. Back and forth with the pinky. It's really sticky, so just be aware of that and make sure you work fast because it dries pretty fast. Brushing an upwards motion. That's the way my brows lay flat the best for me. You might find it different for yourself. I like it like this. It is rough though. And then you just give them a tap till they're not tacky anymore. Next step is gluing your eyebrows. I use the ELMER'S purple glue stick, and then I like to hold my eyelid just because I have really stretchy skin. So I hold my eyelid down and I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This layer, you really want to get a lot of glue onto your eyebrow, and then move on to the next one while that one's still drying. This is the layer you want to get absolutely everything. This first layer is important. Now, you're gonna let that completely dry till it's clear. And then we're gonna do that 2 or 3 more times depending how thick your eyebrows are and how much you want to cover. All right, I'll see you soon. Alrighty, so I just let that layer completely dry, and now I'm going in with layer 2 of glue. So that's Spirit Gum, glue again. Remember, you want to cover your edges because that's really the seam that you want to hide. Now that you've done that, you let them dry again. Alright, so I have done the second layer of glue on my brows, so it's time for my third and final layer. Here we go. You can see it filling in all those gaps that you've made, and on the other eyebrow. But with this one, you only want it to dry like half. Okay, so now that they are like half dry, we get powder where we have just laid that glue. Don't be afraid to push it in there and get it as flat as you can get it. And you repeat that process on the other eyebrow with the Morphe M527. Dust off any excess powder. Don't forget to prime, that's the next step that I do. I just use the mineral primer from OXX, like it's just a Kmart one. Avoid your eyebrows because you have just blocked them and you don't really want to reactivate the glue. Prime everywhere. Now we are primed. I like to go in with my KRYOLAN paint stick, and this is my base tone. So I use that to cover my brow. So I'll go once over. I like to use my finger to really get it in those crevices just by dabbing it with our brows. My phone just dropped. I go back in and repowder again what we've done. It's mainly because I have really dark eyebrows. So now that I've basically covered my brows, I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Use the same color that you just used to cover your brows with. We'll start with under the eyes, around the lips, chin, down the nose. So yeah, now you look psychotic, and that's exactly what we're going for. My next step is I get just a blender and I blend all that foundation and it sounds like that filter on TikTok. It's called beating your face for a reason. Blend your whole face. Don't forget to cover your ears if you remember. If you remember, you didn't forget. I like do a mix of sliding and patting, just kind of helps spread it. I get my contour color and I go down to here and down to there. Bang, bang, bang. And then I go across my forehead like that. For the neck, I like to do a line that goes straight from my neck to my chin. And it kind of cuts off my actual jaw. I always just like do a little bit, just like 1, 2, 3. We're gonna blend all that down anyway. So I hope you can see what I've done there. Blend what we just applied. I go straight over it with another sponge. It's my dark sponge, and I just kind of buff out that like that. And then on this side, same thing. Just work it over, just kind of smooth it out. And then same thing for the top of your forehead. For under your chin, blend out down. So blend that line down, not buff it out, if that makes sense. I'll show you. So see how it's blended down, just like that. Once again, I use a KRYOLAN stick and I like to use 1W for my highlight. I go in like this. I've never done makeup classes or anything like that, but Deja Vu taught me the basic where to contour. So I learned how to do the triangle on my face and everything through Deja Vu. So I've done that since the day she taught me. You go all the way up here and then down to the top of your lip. And then you do the same thing on the other side of your face, like that. Match them as best as you can, but you're gonna blend this out anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. And then I do a little bit on my chin, that, my nose, in the middle of my forehead like that. We're going to blend all that out. Right in there under your eye. Now that that's all blended in, it's time to contour your nose before we set everything. Grab your paint stick, you get your dark sponge, do it like that onto the paint stick. I like to hold it in the top of my nose and drag down, drag down. Now that doesn't look perfect and that's completely fine. That's just for you to build off. Stamp it to get a shape, but I am happy with. You just get some more color and stamp an eyebrow shape, an eyebrow bridge, sorry. Stamp on the other side and make them even. And then you just blend it out. Go back up to the top and just make sure all your edges meet. You can also feel free to go with your light sponge and then you can just go over the edges of your eyebrow bridge you've just created. The next step is setting it with powder. You want to set all your lights first. Up here and the other side. But only where you've done that triangle pretty much. Chin. You don't want to get the dark contour that you've put in, but you do want to get the line. Just do that little bit, that line right there, but only that line. The harsh line that you've created. You're just circle around your mouth. So I'm gonna grab my James Charles palette. Now look, I've used all of my Code James color, so I haven't got any of that anymore. So I'm gonna dip into Punch Me. Beautiful. And then I'm going to dab that into my cheeks and on the forehead, under the neck. Do your ears as well, using the same brush. You're gonna go into 10% off. Lightly dab that. Just in the edges here. Same thing on the opposite side, just in the edges there. Same for under your neck, but you're gonna bring it down right on that line, just under your ear and down that little corner, kind of like a little triangle shape. Same thing on the other side. You're gonna do the tops of your forehead, just up in the corner here, just up in the corner here, just up in the corner here. Oh, and the brush I'm using is a Morphe E4 brush. So you're gonna use Face, this one here. And you're gonna dip a good amount onto your brush, and then you're gonna go over your whole contour that you've just created and blend everything in nice and neat. Only put this on your contour and down your neck. Okay, said May. Blush next, the Juvia's Saharan Blush Volume 2. I've used the hell out of this palette as well, and I'm gonna go in with the color Zoba. I do this. Beautiful. I go in with the color Tau, T-A-U, on the top of it where it meets the highlight. And And then I like to go in with the color Yara and do just under my chin again where we did the contour color before. The same thing on the other side. I also just let the excess onto my forehead like that. Puts a bit of color into my face for me. Bronze. So I'm using the Revlon COLORSTAY Mineral Finish Powder in color Sunkiss Radieux. And I just go over everything we've just done. And then don't forget to do your forehead as well. So now we're moving on to our nose contour. So you're gonna just dust off some of that powder here. You're gonna use a E62 brush and you're gonna use the color Punch Me. Right there. And you're gonna just damp it down like this. You're gonna repeat that on both sides. And just blend that all down into your nose. Be careful with your eyebrow block that you don't like rub it off. So I like to pat when I get to my eyebrow and I like to brush when it's just my skin. All right, so then you're gonna go in with 10% off, which is this color here. 10% off. Damp this in like this. And then just buff that out a little bit. And do your nose with that as well. Okay, once that's done, you're gonna go in with face, which is this one here. And you're gonna go over your nose. Once you've done that, you go in with your COLORSTAY bronzer, and then you do the same step, avoiding the highlight again. Our next step is to do the little dot on the end of our nose. Now, I'm gonna do that with some MEHRON Clown White. I just like to use the end of my brush. This is just a standard generic brush from like an art shop. It's just a really thin one. But I like to use the end of it because it's flat and oval shape. Right on the end of your nose, you go like that. And then I set that in with the powder. Oh, I haven't told you what powder I'm using. Brush off the excess. You repeat the same process with your Clown White again, and you go directly in the middle of what you've just done. Just like that. And then I set that with Flashback, which is the white in the James Charles palette. And then once again, you just dust off the excess. I'm just gonna wipe off the excess makeup off my lips because it annoys me. I try to wipe them off in like a humanly shape, but they didn't turn out too humanly. Now that we've highlighted and contoured our whole face, it is now time to move on to our eyebrows. Oh, I've got the OXX gel eyeliner. This is from Kmart once again. Now, I like to even use the brush that it comes with, so read me. One thing I say all the time, remember your eyebrows are sisters, not twins. So it's okay, they're not exactly the same. To start off, I go right there and over like that. And then the opposite side, I do the same kind of shape, just so you know. I do start it where my natural brow starts and I bring it up over that and it touches the end of where my natural brow finishes. Pretty much. So they're not even, but they have a good base to work with. The trick to my eyebrows is I have to keep the top line as neat as I can get it. The bottom line of my brow doesn't have to be too neat because we're going to cut that in with a white cream anyway. I just realized you can't even see the brow that I'm drawing on. That's how I'm filling it in. See how the top line's like kind of neat and the bottom line is not at all? It's okay with that little messy bit because it's all going to get covered anyway. And then on to the next one. Ow. Okay, so once you've got a shape that you're pretty much happy with, set it with powder. So you get your little powder puff and you powder in what you have just drawn on, just like that. Repeat on the other side. My next step is to ombre my brows. Now, once again, I use the James Charles palette and the brush that I'm using is a Morphe M124 and I'm gonna go in with the color 10% off again. Go in like this, just halfway up my brow to about there. Same thing on the other side, just halfway up my brow. Using the same brush, you're gonna get the color Benny, which is this one. It's a dark brown. I like to go in on my ends and just buff that out. Once again, be mindful to keep the tops as neat and the bottoms don't matter because we're cutting them out anyway. Next step is to grab your Morphe E62 and your bronzer again. Just fill in those little edges where your brows meet your contour. just like that. The end of your brow here, you'll see that when we cut it. So we like to just blend that out. So going in with the James Charles palette and a drop or two of eye contact solution. You can use water, but I just use this because I think it stays longer. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. You're going to drop a drop or two into the color Tune. This is the color we're going to drop this into. And you want to grab your Morphe M250-1 brush. It's a thin brush, and you're going to go into your eyebrows and you're going to draw a few big yellow lines like this diagonally. Once again, being mindful not to go out of the edge of your brow. Same thing on the other eyebrow. That was a little bit too wet. I'll go wait for it to dry. Bam. I'm just gonna let that dry a bit because it was a little bit too wet. So compared to the yellow brush we just used, I like to use this brush, and you can see that's the one we just used down the bottom, and above it is the one that I'm using now. Really thin. Once again, into your Morphe palette, drop into the color Spook, which is the black color here. Drop into that 1 or 2 drops. We're gonna do the same thing to our eyebrows, but with black. You can use liquid eyeliner for this if you like. And just in here. Now, as it gets towards the end, you don't see it as much because Benny is quite a dark tone. When you put black over it, it does kind of disappear. You do the other eyebrow. Almost went right over the edge. Now we're gonna let that dry because we're gonna cut it in. Okay, so you're gonna go back in with the Clown White, MEHRON brand. Okay, so this is one of the situations where like I have a brush that I've had for years and I'm so attached to it that it works perfectly for everything. Similar brush to it is the Morphe M224. It's just a bit smaller, as you can see next to it. And I don't know, it's an old Avon brush and I love it. You wanna get a good amount on there. We're gonna cut our eyebrow. Get more as needed. I just like to tap it in to blend out the edge. And once you've done that, you're gonna set that with powder. The powder I use is the AIRSPUN loose face powder, just in case anybody's wondering. So once they're all set, you move on to the next brow. White cream makeup. And then you dust off any excess powder and your brows are done. Look at that, good job. I cut my crease now, so a lot of people don't do this and everyone calls me weird for doing it, but I've always cut my crease first. I use the same brush. I use Clown White and I do it like this. Now I also paint just under my eye here. That was a little bit far. Okay. So I do that shape, and then you do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so once you've done the other side and they look kind of even, we want to set them in with a white. Once again, I'm going to use the Flashback on James. I'm going to use my Sailor Moon brush because I like that one. I always use it for my whites. And just set that in. Okay, so once you've set that in with the color white, I'm gonna go in with my blue blood this time. We're gonna use a few different colors to go around our crease, and this will be our eyeshadow color. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M441 fluffy brush. I'm Cold, which is this one here. And you're gonna go under your eye like this. And then the top of my eyes, just like this, all the way around. Alrighty then, said Fred. Using the same brush, you're gonna go in with blue blood and do under your eyes all the way to the edge. Like that. And then you're gonna do the same kind of thing with here. And do the same thing just in there. I like to grab my M431 brush, put the blue blood on it, and then you're gonna go in around your crease. Just like that, and meet the blue blood you put down before. You're gonna go all the way around to the bottom, avoiding your crease as best as you can. So now I'm gonna grab a Morphe M433 and we're gonna go in with Blue Monday. That's this one here, it's a darker blue under our eye. Darken it up a little bit. Same brush, you're gonna get a good amount on the whole brush this time. Close your eye and do just under the blue that you put in before the blue blood color. This is all gonna be covered with black when we do our wings. Okay, now using our M431 again, we're going to grab Blue Monday on that, and we're going to do the top of our crease here. So using the same brush, we're going to go into Undertaker, which is the last color down the bottom. And we're going to do that right on the corners of our eyes. Like that. Do it to the tops of your creases as well. Just to deepen that. In this case, I'm going to use the Morphe M433. Again, a nice new clean one. And we're going to dip into... We're going to dip into COLORSTAY, I think it's called, the white highlighter on Jeffree's Blue Blood palette. But you can pretty much use any highlighter for this bit. And we're going to do the top of our brow. Just like that, and buff it out. And then we're going to repeat that step on the next eye. Beautiful! So that's all you need to do for that. We're going to buff out this a little bit later. So moving on to the eyeliner. I'm going to use the Essence Eyeliner Waterproof Pen. I just think it's a really great one for drawing on your inner lines for your wings. So I use a few different methods. I'm going to do this first. And then I do under my eyes. Just like that. And then I like to use Captin and I draw my wings on with it like this. I do double wings. Like that. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I like to get my Essence eyeliner again, the pencil one, and I join these together. Match it up like that. And then at the ends of your eye, to fill in your black, you're going to get the Morphe M410. It's a flat brush, and you're going to get your activator again. Put a few drops in Spooky. Fill in that top triangle double wing you just made. Not going out of those edges to keep it nice and neat. Make sure you get your eyelashes as well, because I don't wear mascara, so otherwise they've got makeup on them. Go under your eye, just to the end, and then under the eye. And then you have your basic eye shape. I like to define my crease with my eyeliner as well. So I go back to the Essence Waterproof Eyeliner on both sides. So just like that. Now this isn't a Morphe brush or anything like that. It's another old MAC brush. I don't even know what one it is, but it looks like that. And the color I'm going to use is Undertaker, which is the color we used under our eye before, in the top edges of our crease that we've drawn. And then you grab your Morphe M431 brush and you're going to go back into Undertaker ever so lightly and dust over the black that you place under your eye, just to once again buff that out. You're going to grab out your highlighter. I use the Jeffree Star Skin Frost Ice Cold highlighter. Now you're going to grab the Morphe M441. It's a fluffy brush. Pop that around the edges of the blue here, right under here. Now this is going to be the highlight for your cheekbone, but we're also going to utilize this to blend out our color. We're going to bring that up here. We're going to circle out the edges of the blue. Circular motions to buff it out. Now I like to just use my finger to blend out the edge bit if you go down too far, and then you repeat the process on this side. Now I'm pretty sure the circular motions like pop the beads inside of it or something to make it really shine. I don't know if that's right. And then just blend that out with your finger at the end there. Now use the excess on your chin, go in with it again, and you want to go in the middle of your nose, don't get your brows, and then go all the way down your nose, only where you've highlighted. Blend out your chin as well with your finger. And then you can also grab your blush brush and quickly just go over the edges you've just made. It just helps blend it in a little bit as well. But our next step is lips. I use a Stila red lipstick. And I apply it like this. Rub. And then draw your shape on with your wand. Like that. Once you have your basic lip shape on, you're going to go in with a lip liner, darker than the tone that you're using. Lip line your lips. I'll be red for this, but next step is to set your lips with powder. So I go in with the Blood Sugar palette and I use, last color here, Coma. We stamp it like this. Just on the edges of where we did our lip liner. And using the same brush, you want to dip into the Blood Sugar tone, which is like a red shimmer. And then I use that all around my lips. And then just buff out your edges. Grab your highlighter again and your highlighting brush. Right in the middle, so do a kiss. Like that, and then fill in the edges. And then you have some like more voluptuous lips. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if this works. It's just a bit of something I want to do. My tip is if you can't hide it, flaunt it. I have a mole on the bottom of my lip, and in drag it's right on my lip line, so I always color my mole in. I'll show you. I do have another beauty spot that I draw on here, but I do that after my glitter just because I don't want to spread black on my face. So our next step will be glitter. I use a really fine misty glitter that I got online. So I usually put a big amount of glitter under my eyes, but in this case, I'm just using my normal glitter, which is my really fine misty white glitter. So I start here under the eye and on the cheekbone. Now, I didn't put anything on to stick it down, but that's okay for now. Just don't rub your face after you put it on. And then you do the same thing on this side. And with the excess, just on your chin, a little bit more for the bridge of your nose. So up just here where your eyebrows meet, kind of where you've highlighted. If you get excess, you just dust it off like this. The last bit of glitter I use for my face is right in the middle of my nose. I go like this. And then I just dust around it to make sure it's pretty much just where we've highlighted. And that's the glitter part, the beauty spot. So the glitter that we've put on our face, we want to set in place. I'm going to use setting spray, but to make sure the glitter holds, hairspray. All right, here we go. And our final step is lashes. So I just use ARDELL lash grip. You can use any lash glue that works for you. Oh my God, I just got lash glue everywhere. While my lashes are like drying a little bit, trick is let it dry for like, funny bone. Let it dry for like a minute or two. In that time, I am going to set my face with setting spray. I have just got another OXX setting spray. All right, here we go, use a lot. Oh, all right. Lash time. I'm terrible at doing lashes. This is just put your lashes on. There's no tip. Close your eye. Hope for the best. I give it a good little press. Now this lash glue dries clear, so don't be too worried if it looks like that. And then I open my eye and I push up with the back of the brush. Oh, what a pretty sight. And then you push up with this one. Now I've got to get ready. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Oh, my ring just got stuck to my boobie. Bam. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Stop it. Done. So now I have my wig on, my dress and my jewelry. And that's drag. That's how you do it. I'm ready to paint the town blue. Blue, blue. Oh, I'm blue, blue, blue. So that's pretty much it for my tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ella and I bring out a video every Wednesday, so tune in for Word Vomit Wednesdays. Ow, ow. Thank you for watching Word Vomit.